April 9, 1865, was a warm spring Sunday in the town of Appomattox Court House, Virginia. Accompanied by several members of his staff, General Ulysses S. Grant approached the house of Wilmer McLean, who had offered the use of his parlor for the signing of General Robert E. Lee's terms of surrender of the Army of Northern Virginia. It was an event in that modest two-story building that would mark the formal conclusion of hostilities between the North and South. Although there were other battles lasting until the Cherokee Confederate General Stand Watie gave up in June of that year. It would bring an end to the American Civil War, one of the most brutal struggles in the history of the United States. Inside that house, dressed in a new full uniform and wearing the ceremonial sword given to him by his beloved home state of Virginia, Robert E. Lee, the brilliant Southern commander, waited. That uniform, as Grant himself would later note in his memoirs, was a contrast to what the leader of the Union forces appeared in. In my rough traveling suit, the uniform of a private with the straps of a lieutenant general, I must have contrasted very strangely with a man so handsomely dressed, 6 feet high and of faultless form. But this was not a matter that I thought of until afterwards. Lee's retreat, after Petersburg and Richmond fell into Union hands, had been blocked by Grant, the charismatic Southern leader's only choice, one he found hard to make, had been to accept defeat. He'd sent a note to Grant asking for an interview to discuss terms of surrender. That note, as Grant's personal secretary, Brevet Brigadier General Ely S. Parker would later recall, was read by Grant with no outward show of emotion. That was no surprise, for Grant was famously taciturn. Grant's staff, however, reacted quite differently. As Parker put it, the staff had a little jollification of their own on the lonely road in the woods by cheering, throwing up their hats, and performing such other antics as their tired limbs and dignity would permit.